So
Very
speaking of Pedro Pascal, Kurt,
Yeah.
you saw the announcements, yeah?
Yes, I did. There's all
Is he
kinds
coming to Dragon Con?
No. But Pedro Pascal is your Mr. Fantastic from the new Fantastic Four movie.
Okay.
And not just that, it's gonna be set in what, the 60s?
So here's what I predict. I predict it's going to start in the 60s. And I think that they're going to use multiverse or time travel to bring them to the present. Multiverse is going to pretty much bring a unified MCU, basically. That's how the X-Men are going to cross over, and that's how
they're going to get rid of the Eternals. And
no, they're not.
They're going to do the second Eternals.
In fact, the Eternals, the Celestial that is in the ocean right now from the Eternals movie.
Yeah, that's the source of adamantium or whatever,
and
right?
was confirmed.
Oh, okay, I knew that was a huge theory, but they actually confirmed it.
And that is going to be in Captain America: New World Order, because they have
that looks surprisingly really good.
It does.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that trailer.
Yeah. So we've got Indiana Jones playing Thunderbolt Ross. And because Bill Hurt died, right?
Yeah.
So Harrison is playing
they explain it away with him shaving the mustache. I love that.
Yeah.
What the new look? Yeah, I had to shave the mustache.
Well, which is weird. Like in the comics, he had the mustache, but
I mean, it was just kind of a.
I wouldn't be surprised if Harrison Ford was like, "I'm not doing the mustache."
Right. So there could be that too, because he's 170 at this point. But they've got basically they showed a clip of him talking to people and saying, "Hey," addressing the UN or some World Council,
sure,
and saying, "Hey, just to let you know, we found a new element on Celestial Island, which is what they're calling Tiamat." And it's called adamantium. Like he literally said the word adamantium,
and that changes the whole ball game for Wakanda.
It does, and so there's that, and we get a reveal.
I'm sure that's a huge debate in some circles whether adamantium or vibranium is better.
Oh, it doesn't even matter because in the comics now it's all about Mysterium. There's a new one.
And what's the one that Thor uses? Isn't like
Uru.
No, Uru? Okay.
Yeah. But that's it's Asgardian magic.
That's alien magic metal.
Yeah. So but yeah, right now the big new element in comics, in Marvel Comics, is Mysterium, which is described as a mutant metal.
We'll see where it goes.
So it can mutate based on external factors or something.
Maybe something like that. I don't even understand.
It's the MacGuffin. It is whatever they need it to be.
Yeah,
which is what adamantium was, which is what vibranium was.
But RDJ being Doom, as Kelsey alludes to here.
That's the other thing. Yeah. So
that was interesting.
They marched an army of Doom out on stage, and and one of them was dressed in a green robe, and he revealed his mask. He took off his mask, and it was Robert Downey Jr. And Robert Downey Jr. basically says that
deal with it. I'm here.
He basically says same task.
Same
task, different mask is what he actually said.
And I assume he's going to be some multiversal version of Tony.
Sure. See, that's what I think. I think they haven't announced it. They haven't said who he's actually playing except Doctor Doom. So
maybe he was adopted or something.
I don't believe they're going to call him Victor Von Doom. I believe
you don't think so.
No, I believe he's going to be Tony Stark from another multiverse.
Isn't there a version of Tony that goes evil in the comics?
Becomes Doctor Doom. And becomes Doctor
Doom.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that there was a version of Tony that went full Doctor Doom.
Yeah, so the next Avengers movie was going to be Kang Dynasty. Gone.
I know.
Well, the actor kind of had some issues.
Yeah, because that was gonna be such a great
it could have been,
storyline.
and they could and it looks
Jonathan
like
Majors.
they're still gonna keep Kang in because you can't just say no, he's gone.
Yeah, you can't hand wave that
right,
away.
right. But they're
they
gonna
could
recast
with God Loki.
Well, they're going to recast. They're just going to recast.
Yeah,
they did it with
God
Rhodey.
Loki
They did it with Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
So they're going to recast. So it's all good.
Well, and the great part about the multiverse is you can explain actor changes really easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So
right. So
this version just looks a little different. I mean, look at going to Loki. Look how many different actors they had playing multiversal versions of Loki.
Yes.
So having a different face for Kang isn't even a deal breaker at all.
They even had different actors playing multiversal versions of Wolverine. All right, so but before we get there,
we can't talk about that.
All right,
Spoiler alerts.
Talk about Wolverine.
Right. So the next movie is going to be called Doomsday, which is kind of the setup of this new Doctor Doom and make him the big bad. But it's going to be more like Infinity War Endgame. I think it's going to be because the one following that is Secret Wars.
I'm assuming that in Doomsday, just like Infinity War, the good guys are going to lose.
I agree. Yeah. And I'm good with it.
I can almost guarantee that's what's going to happen.
Well, that's what happened in the comics too. Like, so the way all in the comics, and I don't know how closely they're going to follow this, but in the comics, you had multiverses colliding on each other, and why am I blanking on the Cabal? Not the Cabal, but it was in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. So the Illuminati took it upon themselves to choose to destroy the other multiverse that was coming into our world.
I remember that storyline.
And so they were doing that over and over and over again, and they got found out. There was a big thing. But Dr. Doom figured out, oh, hey, wait, I can control this in a different manner, and started like picking and choosing other multiverses to survive. And as a result, our Earth died.
616.
616 died. And so Dr. Doom, because he tapped into some power, pulled bits and pieces from all the multiverses to make what was called in the comics Battle World.
Yep.
And so you would have just pockets of like all these different comic book multiverses in one Earth. And then that's how the new Secret Wars series started. And that's how I believe the movie is going to deal with it, is that it's going to be God King Doom. Kind of, Doom set himself up as God on this world. He had an army of multiversal Thors fighting for him, that kind of thing. So I think we're going to get some of that, and then there's going to be some fallout, and somebody's going to get something and snap, and everything's going to go back to normal, sort of.
Will we see the white Vision? Do you think he'll make it reappear?
Yep. And I think it's going to happen way before that.
Okay.
Because, well, one, we get a new Agatha series coming very soon, and two, there was a series, and I think it's still on the books, called Vision Quest that was going to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't realize that they had another series.
I think it's in the works. I don't know what's going on with it, but that was always the plan. So
we are going long already. So let's just tap on a little bit of love of Deadpool 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine, or if you know, it's Deadpool and Friend. Let me just tell you,
it's a buddy cop movie.
I mean, they literally called it Deadpool and Friend until the Super Bowl, and just before the Super Bowl, they tested poorly, and it had to be called Deadpool and Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds had to go fight to change it because they'd already done a lot of marketing for Deadpool and Friend.
Right.
Which the only way that would affect Kurt anything would be that opening sequence, which we won't spoil for anybody.
Right.
Because you might have been thrown off but then you weren't. So anyway, let me just tell you what I love the most about this movie. From the get-go, it is brilliantly hilarious and it doesn't stop. There are subtle running jokes. There are over the top running jokes. There are just new stuff, just little references to other movies they've done, the movies they haven't done. There's some great songs in there. I even caught they played every intro song from Deadpool throughout the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's just in the background. And like, oh wait, that was from the first movie. And it's just it is so good. But the surprises were not spoiled. They were not spoiled. I literally, for the first time in probably a decade, if not longer, I went, "Oh my god!" And then the crowd started clapping, and I hate when crowds clap things done, but I started going, "Okay, I'll do it too." There was just, oh my god! And to know the reasons behind the jokes was worth 20 years of watching every movie that was Marvel, whether it was crap or not, and keeping up with the news, because one of the jokes. It's only a joke if you know what the news was when Fox was being sold to Disney. It's just, and it was smart. It was smart the whole time. I would say Deadpool 2, which was fun, was not as good as Deadpool 1, and it had some dumb jokes. I mean, it went little childish, like especially in that last battle with Juggernaut. It went a little childish. Never. I mean, yes, it goes gutter, but it's just so good. And even to the end, Hugh Jackman keeps it together to the very end when they're talking to Blind Al. And if you're not watching him, if you're watching Ryan Reynolds, you don't see Hugh Jackman break, but he breaks and he laughs. And it's that same loving laugh look that he gives in all the interviews he does with Ryan Reynolds. And it was just so good. So good.
It was so good. Man. So one of the coolest things for me was, just the overall, it was crazy, nutty, ridiculous in all the best ways.
All the best ways. Very Deadpool. So good.
Because
and multiversal at the same time.
At the same time, and really paid a lot of fan service to a lot of just stuff from the comics. I mean, when he was going to collect, I was amazed they tapped into a couple of those, and a couple of them you could predict that was going to happen if they were going to do that.
My boy shows up.
And again, I really don't want to spoil it. But so that, and
he rubbed his knuckles if you're on the podcast.
I did. And then the one that blew me away that I had no idea was coming. How do I say this without giving anything away?
Did he have a little gray in his beard?
No. It was the one that was repairing the motorcycle.
Oh yeah. Yes, I didn't.
And honestly, looked amazing.
And look, I know we might be irritating some people by really just doing the whole inside the brain talk here, but we want you to see it, because when you see it, it was not spoiled, and it was like, what? That is so good.
Oh
my god,
would you recommend it for people who have not seen the other two Deadpool movies?
Yeah, you could do that.
Would they be missing out on a lot?
Well, so if you have if you're familiar with the characters but haven't seen those movies, yes. If you're not familiar with Deadpool or Wolverine at all, you are going to lose your mind, because you're not going to know half of what's going on. I think. I mean, it's just a lot of the jokes are very dependent on knowing some stuff.
It's hard to say. I would say I think you could do it as a brand new. I've never seen anything else. Watch it, because they don't lean so heavily on the past.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that there's a lot of people who only watched MCU specific things, and Deadpool wasn't that for a long time. And so
look, it's on Disney Plus. I would say if you're gonna go watch it, it is worth your time to watch Deadpool 1 and 2.
Oh yes,
definitely. And just get prepared. But yes, Joe, if somebody wanted to go see it, just as fresh, it definitely references a lot of current MCU stuff. So
I would recommend watching
Green Lantern,
Logan as well.
Yes, Logan.
Now I would recommend watching Logan, because it's just a fantastic movie. That could be a standalone.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a black and white version. I don't know if that one's on Disney Plus. It might.
There's
be.
a black and white version of Logan.
Yeah, they came out with a black and white. And honestly, I
didn't even know.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it works because of the tone of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
They don't change anything else in it other than take the whole film and make it that black and white, and it's just that kind of story. It just really works. Dude, just the surprises on top of surprises, and where I thought they were going to go one way, they went another, and it's so much better. And I just, since the first Deadpool movie, I have not been thrilled and excited in a film, because they're in the Deadpool movie, we just didn't know what to expect. And it was left turn after right turn after, and it was just what I've talked at length about what I miss about movies in the old days of not having the internet, and you won't know what's coming out. So you see the trailers. That's why it was so important for me to see the trailers. I want to know what's coming out next year. And then you waited and you didn't hear crap about it. And this was that. So we knew we were getting Wolverine. Yeah. We knew we were getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Ryan. We knew certain things about it. And that, but you know, the statement is the trailer gives away the best parts. No, the trailer gives away none of the best parts.
There's a lot of really bad marketing these days.
Yep.
But it sounds like they did a really good job with this. One of the things that really sticks out to me as good bait and switch marketing was Infinity War, where they showed the Hulk running with everybody, and then that never happened.
Yeah. Right. It was the Hulk Buster. Yeah. I do want to spoil one thing, because it has become a little bit of a controversy, and Christians are getting upset, which, by the way, if you're a Christian going to a Deadpool movie rated R, there should be nothing that offends you. You shouldn't be doing that. But there is an iconic Wolverine cover of him on the red X with the raining blood and the skulls. It's a very iconic cover.
Right.
And that is one of the universes that Deadpool goes to get Wolverine. And that has become a little bit controversial, but it's not a cross, and it's not about Jesus Christ. It is literally a whole separate thing. And covers are made to attract your attention, not necessarily reflect the story.
And that cover came out probably 20 years ago.
Oh, I know. But people don't know that. They just go through and he's jumping through universes, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, they're crucifying. No, they're not. And again, cover art is to make you pick up the book and buy it. And so while they were referencing everything they referenced for Wolverine was all iconic stuff.
And that was fantastically done. Just saying.
As a Christian, I understand why people would get upset about crucifixion stuff, but you also got to remember, Christ wasn't the only person ever crucified. The Romans I mean, even in the Bible, there were two other people with him that got crucified. Yeah. So it's. I know that it's become a Christian symbol, but it's also the Romans crucified a lot of people.
Even in Life of Brian, there were so many.
Yeah, right. And my whole thing is like, wait a minute. Let's step back to the facts here. Hard R on this movie. First, second, it is unleashing of Deadpool, because they put Marvel quality and money behind it. So it really was that Deadpool quality, because I think the first one was real quality. It was that Deadpool quality with Marvel polish and Disney money. Yep. So, you know, that's, you should not expect anything less. I mean, if it was a cross, I still would not have expected less, but it's not. So we got to move on. But I'm Joe, one question while you roll the dice.
Roll that dice.
Have you seen Deadpool, and are you thinking about watching it?
No. In general, I don't watch R-rated movies. I used to watch a fair bit when I was a teenager or younger, but in general, I don't watch R-rated movies.
I know sometimes you cross the line.
So is that because of your faith, or is that because of your kids? And I know that's a terrible question. It allows for no other answer. I understand.
Is it because you beat your wife or you kill your kids?
Right.
No, they haven't mentioned it in years and years, but our church in the 90s especially was harping on don't go to R-rated movies. But it's just, that there's a lot of stuff in there that it's just,
I liked it so much.
And I have no issue with that at all. I mean, I was just curious.
Yeah.
And it definitely matters why it's rated R. Like something like The Patriot,
violence and language.
Like something like The Patriot or Gladiator.
Glory.
You know, that I haven't watched those in probably 2 decades, but I that's something that I wouldn't mind rewatching, to be completely honest, because they're both fantastic movies.